Today I thought I'd do a quick, just like tabletop review of my Sig XL Spectre Comp and kind of how I have it set up, and also compare it to the only other ported gun or a gun with a brake on it that I have, which is the Staccato XC, and see how the brake is different. I mean, the two guns don't compare in any other way, really. As well as the normal P365, which is my everyday carry gun that I carry all the time. So to start out with, this is from their custom shop, from Sig's custom shop. It has a supposedly improved trigger on it, as well as a coated barrel that has some kind of lubricity properties to it. I can run this gun almost dry and it runs just fine. On the gun I've put a TLR6, which is a laser light combo. It's the same light that I have on my Glock G43 in 9mm. I really like this light. I know that a larger light can go in here, I think the TLR7, but this is the light that I actually like. I like the laser combo on it. And then I put a Holosun. This gun's empty before anybody looks and says, hey, he's using a possibly loaded gun, right? So anyway, I put a Holosun 507K on it. It has 12 brightness settings. I normally run it on 7 or so it doesn't get washed out in the sun. It also has the shake awake feature, and it has a 32 MOA circle with a 2.5 MOA dot. So at 100 yards, the circle is a 32-inch circle, and the dot is 2.5 inches. I normally run them both at the same time with the circle and the dot, and the reason is because instead of trying to get the dot back on target as quick as possible, for the most part at 15 yards, you get the circle back encompassing your target, pull the trigger again, right? For speed. I mean, if you're waiting on your sights to perfectly realign, you're wasting your time. You're wasting time. So that's kind of the gun. One of the main things is that it has both ported and a comp on the end of it. It has the same sights as the normal P365. The handle is a little bit larger. That's why it's the XL version. And the comp, if you can see, is actually milled into the slide, whereas the comp on my XC, you can see, and there's no magazine in here and the gun's empty, is actually a part of the barrel's actually there. It's actually milled into the barrel. It's actually on the barrel, attached to the barrel. So compensation wise, this is a way better compensated gun, although there's, like I said, there's no comparison. This is just a race gun. So comparing, so what this came with, the Spectre came with two 12-round magazines, and nothing in the magazine, and the magazines have the flat base plate, so it's not sticking out at all. I can get a 3-finger grip on this firearm with the standard 12-round magazine in it. This same 12-round magazine will go into, and I'll show you this in a minute, will go into the normal P365, but there's a little sleeve that goes right here to take up the additional piece of the handle on the grip to fill in the gap. So I'll show you that right now, actually. And this is my carry gun, but I've unloaded it. This is the 12 round that came with the Spectre Comp. You can see it fits just fine, but there's a bit of a gap here. On the normal 12 round magazine for this gun, and this does have ammunition in it, so I won't be racking the slide, there's a filler at the bottom. And it even fills in the little gap here. So at that point I can get a full 3-finger grip on this firearm as well. normally when I'm concealed carrying this gun, I keep that 12 rounder in my pocket, and I use the standard 10 round P365 magazine, which fits perfectly in here. To make, but let's just have let's take both of the magazines are out, the guns are empty. We'll look at the difference in size. So if you look here, I hope this is in frame, the width is the same, both front and rear. The sights are the sights are the same. The length is actually only a little bit longer on the XL due to the comp. So it's got the same size barrel, the 3.1 inch or whatever, 3.5 inch barrel, 3.1 inch barrel. It's got the same barrel length as the normal P365, but then it's got the additional compensator in the slide. So that accounts for the additional length. The handle is larger, so I can get my hand around that handle much easier with 3 fingers than I can here. My pinky kind of comes off. And this actually came with a 10 rounder with a pinky extension on it, but that's incredibly uncomfortable to me. I don't like it, especially if I'm concealed carrying it in one of these Kydex holsters. This holster actually is by Vetter Holsters. They're in Mount Dora, Florida. I love this company as far as holsters go. This is up there with other top-end holsters, you know, and I like other holsters like Crossbreed, but this is a Mount Dora, Florida holster company. So if you live in Florida, shop with Vetter Holsters. You know, they're not sponsoring me to say that or anything. I really use their products. This clips in very well. So I either carry it in this holster, my regular P365, or I carry it in just a pocket holster if I'm wearing shorts or something like that, right? I did get, for the Spectre Comp, I also got a 15 round magazine. And this 15 round magazine comes with 2 of those fillers that I was talking about. So you can take this off and you can have it, you can put just a base plate on it, but that doesn't fit anything right now, I don't think. But I have the shorter plate on it, which makes it the size to fit in the Spectre, and it doesn't fill in perfectly. If you see on the back right here, it looks pretty good, but it doesn't fill in perfectly, and it works. There's you know, it fits just fine. Ejects real easy. To fit this 15 round magazine in the normal P365, let me grab this. See how there's that space right here? To fix that, what you can do is, it also came with this other cover on the bottom. There's a button down here, just like you would disassemble your magazine. Push that button in, slide this off, make sure you hold it so that the spring doesn't fly out and take your follower and everything across the room. Slide this back on until it locks. But I'm not going to carry this in for my regular P365. I carry the 12 round magazine, and this 12 round magazine was specifically made for the smaller P365 because it has this lip on it right here, which perfectly fills in the grip on the smaller 365. So that is my setup. I'm trying to think of anything else on the Spectre that anyone would want to know about. This gun is heavier than the normal P365. Obviously, it's a little bit longer, but other than it's got slide cuts on it to try to lighten it. I'm not sure that the mass is that much different on the slide, actually, because even though it's got a longer slide, it's got ports on it. It's got milling on the top right here to lighten up the slide. It's got really good forward serrations. The rear serrations are fine. It has like I said, it has a different coating on the barrel. Anyway, and the trigger. Let's see the trigger. Let's see. So here's the trigger. There is some take up here. This isn't a 2011 trigger. Okay, there's some take up. It kind of has some creep there too, right there. There's the wall, and it goes off there, and now the reset right there. So the reset's not really short either, and then it goes off again. The regular P365, there's a lot more take up on the regular P365. So between the two, the comp model is much better. That trigger is much better. When you get to that wall right there, though, there was no creep. There's a bit of sponge once you get to the wall before it actually breaks on the other gun. And then the reset, that has a bit longer reset. They're both, I can feel them both, and they are both audible. So tactile, audible, they're both able to be felt. There, that's one more time. This trigger is better, but not by a lot, actually. Not when you're sitting here side by side comparing them, it's better, but not by a lot. And this gun is twice the price of the normal P365. And I don't conceal this. I don't conceal carry this gun. I live in Florida, like I said. It's hot. I wear shorts and jeans a lot, you know. I'm not going to conceal carry this handgun at this point, at least. I haven't. So there's some of the differences. This gun does recoil a little bit less, even though the compensator is not milled into the barrel. When you take this apart, the chamber inside where the gases expand could use some improvement. Sig, if you're listening to me, that could be improved a little bit. But there is some recoil reduction. The trigger is slightly better than the normal P365. I can get full finger purchase on this, even with the normal 12-round magazine that goes with it. The reset on this trigger is better than the reset a little bit on the other one. Not much again. So overall, for carrying, I still think the normal P365 is the best handgun that you could possibly get at this point, striker-fired handgun at least. And if you live in a colder climate or you wear more clothes and you want a larger gun that flips a little bit less, not that 9mm is all that snappy, but flips a little bit less, gets back on target better, is optics ready. I forgot to mention this 507K directly attached to this slide. There's no additional plate here, which is good because that allows for co-witnessing of your iron sights without having to get larger suppressor height sights. These are the sights that came on it, and it does co-witness. The 507 has a little notch here for sights, but I don't need those because, like I said, this actually is co-witnessable because there's no plate. So if you get this handgun, the 507K is the optic to get for this handgun. Again, I'll probably shoot some footage of taking both of these out to our private range and let you see the difference in recoil from the two handguns and see the difference in accuracy. This gun is I don't actually know why, but this gun is more accurate than the normal P365, even though the barrel is the same length. So maybe that has to do with possibly the red dot on it, and possibly a little bit, well, the sight radius isn't even longer between the irons because the comp in front is what the difference is in length. This gun is a little bit more accurate. Also could be because I can get a better purchase on it with my hands. So if you have any questions or want to know anything more about the difference between, you're thinking about, should I get the XL P365 XL version, whether it's the Spectre Comp or not, or the regular P365 that I carry every day, leave me a comment, ask a question, and I'll respond back. Otherwise, like and subscribe to my channel to keep seeing more gun reviews. I have a Staccato CS being put together that's actually on the way. So like and subscribe if you want to see a review of that handgun. Does that really shoot like a full-size handgun like everybody says? We'll find out.